Hello, and welcome to the Crystal Tree with Rachel. Today I'm going to be talking about something that I've recently come across that I thought would be a good idea for coating my rocks that I've been finding out on the beach. And I've gotten into rock hounding about a year ago, and I was trying to find a way to make my rocks look more wet once they dried, because I pick up a lot of agates, and when you pick up agates, when they dry, they get like this candle-like look to them, and they become kind of dull. And so I was looking on the internet to see if I could find something interesting that I could coat them in to kind of make them look wet. And everywhere I looked, I didn't find anything I was very satisfied with. And what I'm about to show you, I'm doing this for personal use, so this might not work for you, but for me it does. So these are two different products that I've been using on my rocks. I've let the Polycrylic spray that you can see on the side here, the spray can. I've been using that, and it kind of gives a slight shininess. It is water-based. The other one is the resin, high finish gloss, and that's really super shiny. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples in this in just a moment. I'm going to show you what the results have been. So first we'll do the spray. It is a water-based spray. Do not use oil-based, because after a while, even with your seashells, it will actually discolor them and turn them yellow. So I found a water-based polyacrylic protective finish that I spray when outside. Make sure you have lots of ventilation. Don't do this indoors. And this is what happened to the rocks. Hopefully you can see that in the picture. It kind of gives them a wet look, and I sprayed these over maybe 5 to 4 months ago, and as you can see, they didn't yellow. In the past, when I have used the oil-based brand of this, it did actually yellow my seashells and my, what else did it do? My rocks as well. So I wanted to try and show you some examples here. Hopefully you can see that, kind of the shininess to it. And I also have, so there's a huge difference once you use the resin. This is some examples of the resin and what happened. Some rocks that I found. A good example here is to show you this rock here. Hopefully I'm getting it in picture. And you can see here kind of the, I don't know if you can see the dull finish. I'll try and move it around a lot. But there's a dull finish here. That right there is the original rock, and then once coated, you can see it really shows all the details and stuff. Some people don't want, you can see there's a huge difference in shine. So if you want more kind of duller wet, then I would use the spray. If you want to do something more high glossed, then the resin. And it's very easy to put on. I actually have an example here of some ones I just prepped. But I wanted to show you, you can also paint the resin in certain sections where you want it to show up. Sorry about the dog in the background. But maybe in this one you can kind of see where I can come back in and I'll paint here. This is where I rested the rock when I coated it in the resin. Another rock I did. This side I did not paint, this side I did, so you could actually see the agate part. See. But I like the way it looks. I like the way that it feels. I actually like putting it more in the resin than spraying it. I feel the spray, it's okay, but I still feel it doesn't show how beautiful these rocks can actually be. So the way the process works for me is that I'll go find some rocks. These ones here have not been coated. You can see here that these are some of them are agates, some of them are just normal natural rock, but when they dry, they become this kind of matte finish on the rocks, and I didn't really care for that too much. So what I do is I take my resin and I mix it, and resin dries very quickly, and I didn't want to try and do the video and have my gloves on and have resin on my hands while trying to show you examples. But I do have two here that hopefully you can kind of see. This is a flexible bowl, and you could also, this mat that I'm actually working on right now, I could go ahead, coat them, and just leave them on this, and they'll pop right off. Resin won't stick to this mat. It can handle heat. Especially if you have like a heat gun or something like that. I really love this material. I'll try and do a video if you want on this these mats that I had taped together. I do polymer clay on them. Alcohol ink does not stick to them. They're very usable. Both front and back are the same, and they're nice mat to work with. But for this example, I just put these rocks in here. Hopefully you can kind of moving that around a little bit. But you can see I coated two more rocks. And like I said, these are for my personal use. They're not something I can turn around and really just sell it like this, because most people put their rocks in a tumbler and get this kind of look for waiting for 2 or 3 weeks. I get this in 2 days. So if you don't want to wait and you want to see how pretty your rocks are and they're more for your personal use, then I would suggest coating them in resin. It's better than trying to put them in the oven, heating them up, and then trying to put them in oil, because with certain types of rocks, especially if you're new to this like myself and you do not know what you're picking up, if you heat it up or boil it in water, they can actually break and explode. So you have to be very careful with that kind of thing. So with my rocks, I usually just get hot water, stick them in that. I use a little bit of Dawn, because it's, you know, safe for animals, dish soap, and let them soak overnight, and then I let them air dry when I pull them out of the water the next day or so, and then I go through and just paint them so they look like this. And I like the look that it gives. Hopefully you can kind of see, hopefully the camera will focus enough so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. But thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.